How much did Stellantis pay Top Gear?
That's like the top comment. So for those that don't know, this year was the inaugural Top Gear U.S. Car Awards.
Right,
Essentially,
American
they're
Car of the Year.
American Car of the Year, although that makes it sound like it's strictly American cars. It's cars that can be sold in the United States.
Yeah.
So cars, they could be American, they could be anything else, but it's only cars that are sold here.
Should be
and
the U.S. Market Car of the Year.
well, they called it the U.S. Car Awards, is officially what it's called.
Okay.
And it's only cars that are sold in the U.S. market and only cars that have been released in the last 12 months. So that actually narrows it down quite a bit. So it's surprising that this vehicle won Car of the Year, but not as surprising considering we're only talking about so many vehicles sold here that were released in the last year.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't even talk about the Lucid Gravity. They didn't even mention it. And that's a better SUV than anything that anybody else put up this year.
What's curious is the R1T got Truck of the Year.
But they didn't even mention
They didn't even mention
the R1S. Yeah.
the R1S. It wasn't even an honorable mention, but it's like it's essentially the same vehicle.
Same.
Yeah.
The other offerings, well, I mean, the other people that paid them probably paid more. Maybe they didn't pay for that segment. I don't know.
I will say this one, and this is coming from a Mopar guy. When you told me, you could have had me guess 100 cars. I would not have guessed Top Gear of all places.
So Inside Baseball, I saw this. I had to call him like right away. I didn't even finish the video. And I was like, you're not going to believe this, but Top Gear gave a car of the year that you will never guess.
You could have had me guessing for an hour. I wouldn't have gotten to Dodge Charger. Now, to be clear, the six-pack, which is the internal combustion inline six-cylinder, is what won Car of the Year, not the Daytona, which is the electric version of this car. Now, if they had a category for most improved,
that would make more sense.
That would make more sense because, frankly, the six-pack is a more compelling product than the electric Daytona. But just blanket Car of the Year.
Yeah, that's a hard one to swallow.
I've heard a lot more positive things about this six-pack than I did the Daytona. But is it worthy of Car of the Year? I don't know. I've never driven it. Maybe it's phenomenal.
Maybe the six-pack is amazing, but it's hard for me, especially coming from a lightweight sports car. It's hard for me to think of a nearly 5,000-pound two-door vehicle being good at anything.
Yeah.
That's related to sports car speed. I mean, like the BMW M5 is 5,300 pounds. It's nearly 500 pounds more than this.
Yeah.
But that's a four-door at least.
Well, the four-door version of this, I imagine, doesn't weigh a whole lot more.
No, I mean, it can't. What are they going to attach to it? A freaking elephant?
Yeah. I mean, well, it's the same wheelbase, almost the same roof line, same drivetrain. Mm-hmm. Like, everything's the same. It's just whatever added weight that comes with a section of the car that needs to open. So it'll be a little heavier, but not by much.
Yeah. I imagine it'll be broadly the same.
Yeah.
What's funny is I did the math yesterday. This is the same as two of my car curb weight. And then the electric version is the same of two of my car plus 1,100 pounds.
Well, this is the weight of two of your cars, but more than double the power of two of your cars.
Yeah, and I don't care.
But, so this will likely, it will accelerate faster, and it's all-wheel drive as well. But it's not going to feel nearly as sporty as your car. Like you can go back and watch some videos we did driving the Coronado Trail. With how big and wide and heavy this thing is, this would not be nearly as fun as zipping around in that little Miata.
You would be puckered going much slower in this car. I could go an irresponsible speed around those corners and with confidence
because you have so much control over that Miata.
Mm-hmm. Whereas this, I'd be like, well, let's see if the tires are still alive around every corner.
Yeah. Yeah, that was surprising.
And the suspension has to be really hard to hold up all that weight,
which means it's going to be heavy.
So and weight begets weight.
Mm-hmm. Charger, six-pack, won Car of the Year. SUV of the Year was won by Cadillac Lyriq V, their electric SUV. The truck of the year, as we mentioned, the Rivian R1T, the quad motor version, the new quad motor. Supercar of the year, this one I wholeheartedly agree with. And this shouldn't even be American car of the year. The Corvette ZR1 supercar of the year.
Anywhere.
I don't know what else you would even.
Especially if you bring in dollar amount to it.
Oh yeah,
Because what is it, 180?
Starts at 180, 182 or something like that.
Yeah, so for 180, it's not supercar quick. It's hypercar quick. It's keeping up with things that have 7-figure price tags.
Yep.
Easily.
And frankly, I trust that Corvette to continue to. I would drive to work in that Corvette. Whereas if I were to go buy an equivalently performant hypercar in Europe, that's not a car I would take
Anywhere.
other than a track.
Yeah.
Whereas the Corvette, I drove the Corvette. Like, I can't imagine the ride or like driving it around town is going to be.
And you didn't
much
even
different.
have the Z51 package on yours.
No.
So you didn't have the Magneride suspension.
And it was very compliant,
The
very
Magneride's even better.
comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, the Corvette succeeds. It excels at being all things in all situations.
Which is super rare.
yeah,
I mean, look at this Charger. This tried to be a bunch of different things. Tried to be a
it
two-door
failed at almost everything.
and a four-door and an EV and internal combustion and a muscle car, but not have a V8. And it's just not great at any of them. Where the Corvette somehow manages to be a great daily car, an amazing performance car, and still very practical. It's got lots of storage.
You can't do a Costco run in it, but you could do a regular grocery run in it.
Yeah. I totally agree with that one.
Yeah, me too. I don't even know if GM had to pay them for that one.
No, probably not. Manufacturer of the year was Cadillac, which is interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting with their F1 stuff, and they've had a lot of success with their prototype.
And the Top Gear Tech Award was given to the wireless charging Porsche Cayenne.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
yeah, I did.
Marquez Brownlee.
Yeah, I don't understand.
What?
I understand why he picked it. They're like, let's Marquez writes for us. He does YouTube. Let's have him in here for something. It seemed like an afterthought, and they threw it in. And he's like, well, what's the most techie thing? I mean, I guess I have this here right now, this electric charging pad. It did not feel intentional or meaningful.
I think it's interesting. I am curious to see if that's something that'll catch on, or if it'll be like, hey, remember a few years ago when Porsche had that SUV that would wirelessly charge?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Catch on fire?
Yeah, maybe.
Knowing what I know about, at least the experience that I have had, a very close friend of mine has a Taycan, and she's had it for 3 years, maybe a little more. And for most of that time, she's had to charge at regular wall outlet speed.
Now it's because she didn't have the charging infrastructure at home, or the car was giving her
car
issues.
had like a recall on the cable that they couldn't push through enough, whatever it was. And then she got like a Porsche charger installed at her house, and then that cable was known to catch fire, so they said, bring it in and we'll give you another one. And she brought it in, and they were all out of them, and she had to wait like 8 months to get a cable. So she was just plugging into a regular wall outlet. And then when she got it all hooked up, she's not a tech savvy person. So when she finally got the cable in, it was only charging at like maybe twice the speed of a wall outlet, because every single time you plug it in, you have to go over to the wall charger and select the voltage or the wattage you want to push through. And it was still pushing through like a much lower wattage, like half a kilowatt per hour or 1 kilowatt per hour. And you have to select like 9 or 12 or whatever it was every time you plug it in. So she didn't know to do that. So she's like, is still charging slow. I don't know what to do about it. So anyway, most of the time she's had it, it's been just a huge pain in the butt. It's had so many recalls. I've had to bring it into the dealership for so many times. So I think that, and then a heat generation pad that you call a charging pad. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe it'll catch fire. We'll see.
Yeah, on a demo stage or in Marquez's immaculately clean, very controlled, environment where he's testing it, I'm sure it works great. Mm-hmm. But fast forward 6 months from now, you run over it, your cat scratches it gets wet, like whatever, or nothing happens to it.
Or just enough dust where it thinks that there's something on it.
Whatever. And anything shy of a perfect, use case scenario, you suspect it's not going to work very well.
No.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.